workforce. So they had to increase their workforce with critical care nurses. And I applied and got through the interview process. But I was just there for the sort of COVID surge. We did do a lot of COVID flights. I did a lot of COVID flights.
Yeah.
It was
something
PPE.
You saw. Yep.
To me, it was no different looking after a COVID patient in the hospital into the back of an aircraft. We just did what we do with the PPE on. Going to the Pilbara, the Kimberley in PPE, yes, that was really difficult.
Because it's hot.
Because it was so hot.
Yeah.
And you're wearing all that and you're wearing a mask for extended periods of time in the, you know, those temperatures, and you're outside loading the patient on and off the aircraft, you're outside in full PPE.
Did you catch COVID from anybody?
I didn't catch COVID from work at all. I got it once, but that was not from work.
Okay. See?
It was from a bar of all places.
The beauty of PPE, right?
Correct, yes. And I've only had it once.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it again.
I've never had it.
You're probably one of the rare few who haven't had it.
I know quite a few people who haven't had it. We're called the Novids. I've just come back from Europe thinking that I would probably get it in London or somewhere like that, but no.
You're lucky.
I must have good immunity or whatever. Because I worked in the COVID hotels, so we had to be tested all the time.
Yep.
And we're not even near the patients. We're in a phone box, basically, you know, a hotel room away from them, making telephone calls to them.
Yeah.
But we still had to be tested every day. Go figure.
And you never got it, so you're lucky.
No. So your patients survived with COVID and stuff because the treatment, it seems like a whole lifetime ago that COVID was so in the news and part of everybody's life. It's like we've forgotten about it now.
It does seem that way. It's definitely still out there.
It is still out there?
There's definitely, quite a few hospitals have
still got people.
Mini outbreaks and still COVID patients. I think influenza is obviously becoming more of an issue now than COVID. The numbers are still out there. It's just not, it's done now. We don't hear about it.
All right. So you didn't answer my question. Was there another field of nursing that you would have liked to go to? This is how it happens. Sometimes we just divert. It's like nursing.
I did my grad program and I worked surgical wards. And then ICU, it's all I've ever known. I don't know what else I would go into. Knowing what I know now, I never went rural prior to working for RFDS. Yep. Maybe when my kids are older and I might do some rural remote stints.
Yep.
I've actually never thought about it.
Well, you found your pathway and you've really enjoyed what you've done.
I have, yeah. I love what I do. I love the autonomy. It's rewarding, meeting the volleys that I go and pick up patients from, and you get to know them because you go to these same places all the time. The staff out there, the communities, it's such a rewarding job.
It's the variety, and I think that's what talking to nurses over the years or watching in my vast career is that if you're on the wards or you're doing one job for a long time, you want to change, whereas you have a change every single day.
I feel like rewind back to 2 years ago when I was still working in ICU permanently, I was getting a bit burnt out.
Yeah.
Now I've started this, I'm not in those four walls for 12 hours a day anymore. Okay. I'm out and about. Every day is different. Yeah. I get to see so much. And sometimes I might be on call, so I can do things at home whilst waiting for that phone call to ring. I can nip to the gym, chuck some washing on, prepare dinner, and just wait for the phone to ring. Like I've got there's a bit of flexibility, and I think it's a good balance. I'm not at work from 7:30 to 7:30. Yes, I might be on call for that, a 12-hour period or a 10-hour period.
And never get called out.
I didn't fly yesterday. I was at the base doing lots of jobs and helping other crews, but I didn't fly yesterday, which is it is a rarity. I fly pretty much all the time. But it was nice. It was just a nice change of pace yesterday. It was nice to help with the other crews, unload and do some checks and things like that. So it is definitely a job that, you might get a bit fatigued because you're flying at altitude or you're flying long periods of time, but you're not mentally, you're not burnt out. The same thing, same day out. Things change.
Other than the Melbourne trip, Do you just basically stay in WA?
Yep.
It's a big state.
It's a very big, 2,500 million square kilometres or something like that.
But you wouldn't have jet lag.
No.
You don't rack up frequent flyer points, unfortunately.
No, I'd be platinum by now, I would say.
That's such a shame, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. No, I don't. I mean, you might, on the jets, you can fly like a higher altitude, 42,000 feet.
Ooh.
You do get a little bit tired, but I definitely don't get jet lagged. I think I'm used to it now, to be honest. But I could go from the Great Southern to the Pilbara.
In one day?
It varies.
Yeah.
Or I could fly to Kununurra, stop in at Newman, Geraldton, Jandakot, or I might just do Bunbury and back. It really depends. You don't know where you're going to go.
And I think that's what is quite nice about it, isn't it? The variety and just put me in there wherever I'm meant to be. This is where I'm going to be today. And,
Yep. And the communities are so thankful, and the staff when we come to retrieve these patients. Like it, they feel
like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Someone's arrived. And you're not in competition with any other company, really, are you?
No.
You are the people that they'll call.
Correct.
Amazing. Would you recommend this as a career path for people?
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah?
Yep.
They need to do critical care or emergency nursing?
The ideal path would be either 3 to 5 years experience in ED or intensive care. Mm-hmm. I'm ICU only.
Yep.
Obviously, I've been picking up a lot of ED type patients, so I've had to let my ICU OCD slide a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm always in the back of an aircraft, tidying all my lines up, trying to sort everything out. But they get moved from bed to bed to bed to bed multiple times. Things just get tangled. Whereas the ED side, they're happy with mess and craziness, whereas me, I'm very structured and ordered. So I've had to learn to let that go. But, ICU or ED training, 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
Postgrad certificate in crit care, ED, ICU would be highly desirable, and, of course, your midwifery. It is a vital qualification to have, hence why I'm currently doing my training now.
Yep. So talk me through your postgrad, or is it a postgrad or a higher certificate?
It's a postgrad diploma in midwifery, so it's 18 months at Notre Dame.
How are you finding that?
It's going incredibly quick. The time has gone by very fast. The workload is big, I'm not going to lie. This is reality.
Yep.
The workload's big. You've got to follow your 10 women, which is a Australia-wide requirement. This is not something that the university says you have to do. It's what you have to do to get your registration. Some universities may actually be more women, so you've got to follow them from start to finish, basically.
Starting meaning?
Antenatal appointments.
Okay.
The birth, postnatal appointments. You need to follow them through.
Okay. And write up on them.
Yeah. So attend the appointments with them, write a reflection up. Like it's a lot of, and that's outside of the course. You've got all your assignments, you've got your exams, the study, of course, plus prac. I've just completed 12 weeks of prac this semester.
Whereabouts?
I was at King Eddie's, Osborne Park and St John of God, Mount Lawley. It's break time at the moment, holiday time. So semester 2 will start in July, 24th of July, all the way to November.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy 4 to 5 months, and then I'll have a break.
Okay.
It's going quick. And I delivered my first baby 2 weeks ago.
Whereabouts?
At Midland, St John of God, Midland.
And that was all by yourself? Like
hands on hand. So St John of God have got a policy with the midwife that I was with.
Yep.
Her hands are on my hands. That's their policy.
And it was a normal birth.
Normal delivery.
Normal head delivery.
In fact, it was very textbook. For my first birth, I couldn't have wished for anything more. It was a really wonderful experience. I think the good part about this particular birth, there was no obstetrician, doctor, didn't even need to come in the room.
Fantastic.
Completely midwife led, which was lovely. There was no interventions at all. And she was one of the women that I've been following, so I knew her. Yeah. I had been to the antenatal appointments with her, the birth, delivered the baby, and then followed her through, postnatally.
So how do you find these ladies that you have to follow?
So the beauty of social media, so there's a Facebook page called Call the Student Midwife Perth. So prospective mothers or pregnant women can go on this page and say, hey, I'm 15 weeks pregnant, I'd like to have a student midwife. Or hey, I'm Jade. I'm a student midwife. I'm looking for 5 women to follow. Please contact me if you'd like to have a chat.
Fantastic.
So that's how I found the majority of my women.
Yep.
Actually, one of the doctors that works at RFDS works at PCH. She's been drumming up business for me there as well. So I've got some of the nurses that work at PCH ICU. She's been finding women for me.
And that's what it is.
Yep,
the whole world is about word of mouth,
correct.
isn't it?
So 5 of my women are all nurses as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's a good experience. The workload is demanding, but I've survived, I've passed, and here we are going into semester 2. And I know June 10th next year won't be that far away. That's course completion.
How do you manage with work life and family, having to study and do assignments? Like, do you have to put the family aside for a moment while you do some exam work?
Yeah, to be honest, my daughters are 6 and nearly 12. I probably somewhat had to neglect them a wee bit, not neglect them, but I've had to just come home and spend all weekends doing my assignments and things like that.
They understand?
They do
You've
understand.
Explained?
Yeah, they do understand. Yeah. We've got good support. I wouldn't be able to do it without good support. It just wouldn't work.
And your partner is very supportive?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
He's very supportive. Again, if I didn't have that, I don't know how you'd make it work.
No, because what if you can't get home when your scheduled flight because of weather and stuff and you've got to pick up children from school?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Exactly. It would only work with good family support. So my husband does a lot of the drop-offs and pickups. If I'm home, then, I'll go and get him. But he knows if I'm not home, then it's his responsibility. I've always been a nurse. They've always known that I've been a shift worker. The little one, she's just turned 6, so her not so much, but the big one has been a good help. I'm teaching her life skills quite young. And they'll get to come to my graduation. Obviously, I didn't have kids when I graduated last time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really special, I think, next year, graduating and turning 40. Something I think life's going to get better when I turn 40. No, it's been a great experience studying. I don't know if I'll study again for a while, but we will see. But actually, I should say, if anyone's considering doing any more study and they've got children and family and all those things, you can make it work. Yes,
you can.
Planning. Again, it all comes back to planning, organisation. I run a very tight ship at home. Meal prep, everything. Washing, meal prep, who does this? I've got a big thing on the fridge.
Get the team involved.
Get the team.
Exactly.
But it is possible. You can study. If you want to do postgrad and mid,
do it.
Just do it, because it is possible. If I can do it, working shift work, studying, kids, we can all do it. You just need to be organised.
All right, so we've got to the stage of the podcast. So we've got to the time in the podcast where, is there an oops moment in your life, somewhere something's happened, but you learnt from that and you just thought that will never happen again?
Yes, just very recently, actually. The baby I delivered a couple of weeks ago, I had a huge splash of amniotic water all over me. I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't have my PPE on.
Oh.
So
no apron.
No
mask.
Nothing.
No gown.
Nothing.
Just gloves.
Just gloves that I had just got on in time.
So did you break the amniotic sac?
I didn't. The doctor did.
Okay.
And then left.
And you stepped in to
and then it
grab
was just,
the baby.
This was before the delivery. It just splashed. It actually caught me off guard. I can't describe it any other way, but next time I'll just be at least gowned and gloved up. And it's a smell I probably won't ever forget. You know, when you smell smells like Melina, for example, smell you'll never forget.
Oh, I've forgotten Melina, don't worry.
I don't know how you'd ever forget it. I think it just caught me off guard. I think I may have potentially got something in my mouth. Not a bodily fluid that I have been exposed to.
Or swallowed before.
No, in my almost 15 years as a nurse. So that was a learning experience.
Lucky it's sterile.
Exactly. Yes, that is true.
It's sterile body fluid.
I just wasn't expecting that impact of splash.
Yeah. Gosh. And wet shoes.
It was wet everywhere. Absolutely wet everywhere. So, yes, that was an oops moment for a big
How did you react to that when it just burst out? Did you swear or did you step back and go?
I stepped back.
Yep.
And then that same baby, once she was born, actually pooed all over me meconium. So, hey, that's one experience I won't forget.
So you had to go and get changed